Hey everyone, this is Kara Jane with Ice Cream for Buttercream, and today I want to go through how I like to make the printable cupcake toppers. They're really easy to do, and I've been asked to do a short tutorial on how to do them by a couple of different people, so that is what we're going to do today. Okay, and so by printable cupcake toppers, I'm talking about these kind. They're just circle toppers. I guess you can do any shape you like. But they have different colors. They can be solid or just a background, some background words. These are just a couple I have just done just for general purposes. And then you may have seen on the YouTube channel or on the blog, I have some for Mother's Day with some different design elements. There's some that I made for Father's Day, and then some that I've made for Thanksgiving. And so these are just examples of what you can do. Really, there are so many different possibilities, but the basics of it are all the same, and it's really easy. So even if you don't have any graphic design skills or anything, which I don't have any kind of graphic design background, you can still do these. So they're really easy. I'm going to share with you all of my tips and tricks on how to do them. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to canva.com, and you see up at the top it's just canva.com, and you're going to come up with this screen here. It'll probably look a little different. I'm doing this around Christmas time, so it says season's greetings, but this will change up here, here and there. So once you get here, it'll probably actually I'm already signed into my account, but what it'll look like when you go there, first of all, it'll probably look like this. And you'll just click over here, sign up. And it is free to sign up for Canva. There are different types of accounts you can create. There's a free account, and then there is a paid account called Canva for Work. And I do personally have the Canva for Work, but I use that for my blog and website, and I do lots of graphics for YouTube thumbnails and things like that. So that's for the average individual. You probably don't need to do that. I don't remember exactly how much it is. It's not expensive, but the free account is plenty to do what we're going to talk about here. All right, so once you click sign up, it will give you this little screen here, and you can sign up with email or however you want to do it, and you just put your name and email and password, and then you're already signed up. Okay. So this is what it'll look like once you signed in. And you can play around with these things. There are some templates you can play around with. If you click on templates, you can see that they give you lots of different options to do all kinds of things, make logos, presentations, flyers, cards. But for the printable cupcake toppers, we're just going to go easy. And I just like to print out on your average 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And so that whenever I'm designing, I design in those aspects, because that way I know that it's going to print exactly how it looks on my screen. Okay, and so to do that, you just go over here to create a design, and instead of clicking any of these other suggested templates over here, I'm just going to click custom dimensions. So I click on that, and the width is 8.5. So I'm just going to do, actually, before I do that, over here on the right, you can see the PX. That's pixels. We're not going to work in pixels right now. We're going to work in inches. And so I'll just click inches. Now, if you're in the UK and you have a different size, I think maybe in the UK they use maybe an A2 size. I'm not exactly sure, but you just need to make that whatever your standard size paper is, just make it that. So in the US here it's inches, and we're going to go 8.5 by 11. And then I'm going to do create design. And it will pop up with just a blank sheet on your canvas here. And over here on the left, you're going to see a bunch of templates for different miscellaneous things, I guess if you're making a menu and things like that. But we're not going to worry about that, because that's not what we're doing today. So I'm just going to click on elements here, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of stuff. Now, these are things that I've recently used whenever I've been making graphics, because it says recently used. And then these are just, I don't know where the featured comes from. I'm not even sure what kind of fruit these things are. But anyway, we're going to ignore that part, and we're going to go down to shapes and just click see all. And these are just different shapes. So first you want to have a background shape of your cupcake topper. So if you wanted it a weird shape like a square or any of these other odd shapes, I mean, you could even do something like that. And all I did was just click on it, and it shows up on the page. You could do that. Just click delete to delete it. Basically, you're going to have a background shape. So in some of these, let's see, let's go to one. So as you can see on this one, some of these were the graphic that was the shape of the cupcake topper, and then some of them here, I did a background shape that was just a circle. And all that's giving you is just an area where you know where to cut. So if you didn't have the circle around it, you would not know where to cut if you were cutting with scissors. Now, I also like to use these circle punches, and I think the one that I use is maybe 1.5 or 2 inch wide circle punch. So if you're going to use a circle punch, you want to make sure you know exactly how big it is, because you want to know how big to make your design. So essentially you need a background circle, because if you're not going to be using a circle punch, you're going to have a outline of where you need to cut, so that you're not just cutting this weird wonky circle. And you can do solid backgrounds too, like this one is just it's just empty in the middle. It's just an outline of a circle. Or you can do like these, and these are more solid circles. But let's go back to our design. So they give you lots of options over here. You can do a solid circle here, or you can just do a circle outline. And it's just up to you, however you want to do it. We'll just do a circle outline today, and then you can kind of play around with it if you want. And so once I've clicked on it, it's put it on my graphic here, and I'm just going to grab it and hold my clicker down or my mouse down, and I'm just going to make it smaller. And then you can make it bigger if you need to. So I like to do like this one, and it's 1, 2, 4 rows of 3 circles. And so that gives you 12, and that's a dozen cupcakes. Usually, whatever recipe you have will usually make around 24. So you would just print 2 copies of this. So let's go back to our design. And I know I keep a million tabs open all the time. So what I like to do first is just make a circle, and you can make this circle any color you want to. You can go up here and you can click on this color block here, and you can make any. So these are my brand colors down here. That's not going to show up for you if you have the free account. These are just my brand colors. But I can click on any of these colors. If I don't want that color and I just wanted a really pale color, just so I know where I'm just going to cut around, I can do this. And that makes it a little bit of a pale gray. And I can also go up here to this little plus sign and click on that. And I can drag it wherever I want. So if I wanted it, it's kind of getting a little purple here. Or if I just want it barely, barely there, I go almost to the top where it's really light. And down here on the right, I can click in to zoom in further, and you can kind of see it better. But it's really light at that point. And so once you get it like this, however you want it, whatever color you want to do, if it's part of your design and you want it to be just bold and out there, you can always do that too. So we're just going to leave it this color because that's easier to see on the screen. And I'm going to try to make it a little bigger. And so down here, when you hold it and move it, it's going to tell you exactly how big it is. So if I want it probably around 2 inches, I'm just going to keep dragging it until it tells me about 2 inches. And I'm just going to click on my other ones to see what size. That looks about the size of the other ones. What you can do here is, once you've gotten this on here just like this, just one circle for you, whether it's the outline of the circle or the solid circle, you can go up here to the left and click File and click Save, so you save it. And then you can download it to your computer and go ahead and print it off just to make sure the sizing is right. I learned this the hard way. The first ones I did, I would design the entire thing up front, and then I printed it out and the sizing was totally wrong for my circle punch, or it was just too big or too small. So I would just suggest just doing the outline first, getting that down, and then printing it off just to make sure the sizing is correct. So the way you do that is you go up here to this little arrow up here and you click it. And I always change the file type to JPEG, because it doesn't really need to be PNG. That's higher quality, but it's really okay to do JPEG. So you can do JPEG. Actually, I would probably do, instead of JPEG, I would do PDF print. So a lot of my graphics, I end up doing JPEG. So just ignore what I just said about that and click PDF print. That's actually what you want, because you want it to print out correctly. So that's going to download a PDF version of it. So you don't want to click this with crop marks and bleed. That just leaves some kind of little marks around it that kind of gives you a grid, but you really don't want that. So just click PDF print and then click download. It'll say preparing your design. And then over here on the left, well, I guess it depends on what kind of internet you're using or whatever Internet Explorer you're using. But down here is where it'll pop up, and you'll just click on it and open it up. You can go up here to the right to this download thing, and you can save it to your computer, like you can save it to your desktop, however you want to do it, or you can just go ahead and print it from here. And that'll print off. So check your gauge your size and see if this is appropriate size. So let's just pretend that it is. I'm just going to click out of here, and we're back at our design. So let's say that this is the right size. That's great. So we'll start off from here. But instead of going and adding a whole bunch of circles, let's just design it first. And then I'm going to show you how to easily duplicate it across the whole thing. So, and the way you design it, there's a ton of different options here. You can go over here back to the left and click on elements, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of options here. There's stickers if you found something you liked here, different gradients, illustrations, icons. But let's say that you want to do some cupcake toppers for your sweetheart. So let's say it's Valentine's Day and you really want to do one. So we'll go up here and we'll click on the search box, and I'm just going to type in love, and let's see what comes up and enter. So some of these are free. You can see if you hover over one of the, they're free. It'll tell you if it's free or not. And then some of them have a little dollar, so you can pay $1, and it's not going to be $1 for each image each time you add it. It should just be $1, but I could be wrong about that. So you just want to check, and it will tell you before you download how much it's going to charge you. So just check on that. But I usually just try to use the free ones here because they really have some cute ones. And if you want to just use the free ones, and I don't think that this one is just for the Canva work. I think you can use this one on the free version too. If you just click the word free, it'll just show you the free ones. And so just scroll down and find something that you really think is really cute. Let's go. So let's click this. So you can click on these and see how it turns out. You can make them smaller by clicking and dragging them. And then you can make it even smaller. And then you can just try to fit it in here and see how that works. And if you like that, then I don't really like that though. So I'm going to delete that. And then you can look over here and see what else they have. Let's see. Let's keep scrolling. Okay, so let's do this little drawn heart here. I think that's really pretty. So I'm actually going to click on the circle, and I'm going to change the color to a really light gray because I don't want to use that circle. So once I cut these out, I'm hoping that that circle won't show. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And when I cut it out, I'm just going to cut it out right inside of that circle so the circle doesn't show. And so I'm going to put the heart right in the middle, and you can see where it will give you gauge lines to center it, and that's in the center, but I want to make it a little smaller because I'm going to add some words here. And so I'm just going to move it around until it gives me that little gauge that it's right in the middle. And so that looks really cute. And I'm going to go over here and add some letters because I want to I, and then I want to add U. And so I'll go over here to text. It's over here on the left, and you just click on text. And they have a bunch of different combinations. If you scroll through some different font combinations, you can use that if you want to. I mean, that's really cute. If you wanted to add happy holidays into a cupcake topper, that would be really cute. You can also change the color of it as well. But I think I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to add regular text. So I'm just going to click on add a heading. It doesn't matter. You can always change the font and the size of it. And then I'm just going to click and do Control A to highlight all of it. And I'm just going to type in the letter I. And so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to move it over here, and we're going to adjust the size. And then I'm going to do duplicate up here on the right, and that just duplicates it. And then I think I have to make it bigger to move it around. And I'm just going to double click on that and put the word U. So it's typing down because I need to make it a little bit wider. So I just pull it out a little bit to make it wider. And then I'm going to place this under the heart. And so I'm just going to mess around here, just going back and forth and clicking. I really don't like the font on this. So you can go up here where it says Anton and then go and click the font you want. I like playlist script. And that's pretty, but I don't know how it's going to look with the eye over there. or the capital letters. And so if you don't like it capital letters, I just double clicked on it to highlight the whole thing, and you click up here, and sometimes that changes it, sometimes it doesn't, like now. So I'm just going to type in U and make it a little bigger and see. Sometimes you have to click off of it before it lets you move it. I really like that. So I'm going to go back up, and I really like the font Beauty. Let's see. Beauty Salon. I think that's a really lovely font. So I really like that. And so I'm going to move it down a little bit. Smaller. And you just keep adjusting until you get it to the way that you really want it. And if it's not moving really smoothly for you, what you can do is hold down your mouse, click your left click on your mouse and hold it down and move it. And as you're moving it, if you click the control key, it helps you move. So right now it's kind of jerky, as you can see. I can't really get it where I want it. It keeps going up and down too far. So if I hold the control key down, now I can kind of move it little bit by little bit. And it just kind of gives it a little smoother move, and you can move it exactly where you want it. So I'm going to go to the eye, and then I'm going to change it to Beauty Script. And let's see what that looks like. I think I want to move that down just a little bit, and that looks pretty even. Okay, so if you don't like this design, that's fine. You can totally delete it if you want. If you don't like it, you can change the heart in there. You can make it a little bit smaller, which I think is what I'm going to do. But it's really totally up to you. There are tons of different options that you can use, and you can make them look all different kinds of ways. You can do happy birthday ones. It's just the options are really endless. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here to the left and do File and Save, so I can save it. And I want to give you another option. So let's say you go over here to Elements, and you really don't like anything that you see here. You just think you just can't stand any of this. So you want another option. So I'm going to tell you what I like to do a lot of the times and where I get a lot of my graphics. And it's at creativemarket.com. So you'll just type in creativemarket.com. It is not free for these graphics, but they have really good quality graphics here from lots of different graphic artists. So if you scroll down, you can see that there's tons of different font bundles, all kinds of stuff you can choose from. So what I like to do is I just go up here to the search, and you can search for whatever you're looking for. So I'm just going to do another search for love and see what comes up. So I'm just going to click enter. And so what pops up is a ton of different things at a ton of different prices. They're not all this expensive. I'm going to show you how to narrow it down a little bit. So it's going to just show you every single thing that has to do with love here. They've got wedding icons, some botanical prints. There's a ton of stuff. So what I like to do is scroll down, and you go over here to price. And let's say I'm only willing to pay about $2 to $5. So I drag that $2 to $5. It's going to auto populate, but I don't need some of this stuff. Like I don't need this, which is kind of cool actually, but I don't need the different fonts and the different icons. I just want to look for pretty pictures. So I'm going to scroll down again, and I'm going to go all the way down to this JPEG. I'm just going to click JPEG because I want either a JPEG or a PNG. I don't need an AI or SVG file or PSD file because I'm not using any of the Adobe products to do this. I mean, I do have Adobe Photoshop, but that's not what I'm using right now. So I'm just going to click JPEG or PNG, and that narrows it down even further. So now really all you're going to get are pictures and graphics. All right, so then we can scroll by and see what else we're getting. So some of these are just patterns, which is kind of cute if you wanted to buy a pattern. And then they have different kinds of things, and we'll just scroll down here and see what they have. So I'm going to click on this one right here, and let's see what they have in there. Once you click on it, it's going to bring it up. And down here, it usually shows you each thing that's available. So if you didn't like the hearts and you wanted a kiss here, you would download this and use that instead. And then over here, usually they give you a lot of different options. You can make sort of a wreath out of it. They give you some ideas to use. So let's say you like this one. You want to use these watercolor hearts and things. So what you would do is go over here. If you're using it for commercial purposes, maybe you're going to put it on a website or a blog, or you're going to have it as a free download or something like that for your work. This is usually what I pick, which is the commercial, because I want a commercial license. And I don't want to step on anyone else's copyright or anything like that. I want to have full permission to be able to do what I need to do with it. So if you're just using it for personal usage, you just want to make happy birthday cupcakes or Valentine's cupcakes, and they're just going to go to your sweetheart or whoever, you can just do the personal, and it's just going to be $5. And what you would do is you would go down here to finish purchase and click on that, and it would just be the $5. And what it would do is just automatically download it, and it'll download it to your computer, and then you just save it. And what you will do, let's say you saved it to your computer, you will go back to your canvas here. And so if you want to upload the graphics that you just purchased off of Creative Market, you would go back to your canvas here, and you'll go over here to the uploads button. You click on that, and it's going to show all the uploads you've uploaded in the past, which if you're new to Canva, you haven't uploaded any. But you'll go up here to upload an image and click on that, and you're going to navigate to the folder where you saved it. So when you downloaded it off of Creative Market, you saved it to a folder. You want to click on that folder, and I'll just pretend this is it. This was actually some graphics that I made for a blog post. And so whatever your graphic is that you want to upload into Canva, you would click on it and then click open, and you'll see over here on the left that it'll just pop up here. And so this is, for sure it's not the graphic we want to use, but just for example's sake, what you would do is you would just click on it, and it'll auto add it to your canvas, and then you would just size it to fit and then put it into your cupcake topper. Okay, so let's say you like it. You're going to go up here to File and save it again. And then what we want to do is we want to fill our whole page up with it. So let's say you're going to do this design for the whole page. You don't have to do that. You can do different designs for each cupcake topper if you want, but it's really easy to duplicate it if you just want to do a whole page of the same design. So what I like to do is you want to click outside of the canvas or away from this design here. Click away from it on your mouse, click, and then hold it and drag just a square around it like that. So now it's got the whole thing highlighted. And go up here to group and click group. Now it's all grouped as one. So you can move it around and it's not moving each individual element. So I'm going to go here, try to put it in the middle. And then I'm going to click duplicate up here at the top. And it's just made a second one. And then I'm just going to move it right alongside the other one. And I'm going to click duplicate again. It's going to duplicate the whole thing over again, and I'm going to move it here. So now we've got 3 together. And I just kind of look at it and make sure the spacing is okay. That looks pretty good to me. And so now, instead of just doing each one at a time, I can hold down my mouse, and then I'm going to drag and click over that all 3 of them. And so then what I want to do is I don't want to ungroup them. I just want to duplicate all 3 at a time. So click duplicate. And then it has duplicated all 3. And so I'm just going to drag it to where it's underneath it. So that's 1, 2. I'm trying to wait for that line in the middle to show up to tell me that I'm in the middle. And then without clicking off of it, I'm going to click duplicate again. I'm going to drag another one underneath it, and one more, duplicate, and drag it underneath it, like so. Okay, I'm going to click off of it, and then that gives me 4 rows of 3, so that's 12 right there. So what you could do is you could just go up and click File, Save, and you can download it like we talked about earlier. You click this little download button here, and then change it. Make sure to change it to PDF print. Don't click the crop mark because you don't need that, and then you'll just click Download. And so it's going to do the preparing your design just like it did before, and you're just going to click on it and it's going to open up, and you just want to make sure everything looks good and print it off and test it out. Now, if things are wonky or off a little bit and you need to adjust them, that's the great thing about Canva is you can just come right back in and adjust it. And if you needed to delete all of these and rework them again, delete, like you can go and hold your mouse key and highlight all of that and just click delete. Now, let's say you needed to change this because something was off. So you would click on it, but remember that they're still grouped together. So you have to click on somewhere on it to highlight the whole thing and go up here and click ungroup and click that. So now everything is separate again. So if you needed to move anything or change a font or anything, you have to ungroup it. It's just much easier to do it that way. And then if you want to go back again and redo it, you highlight the whole thing again and group it. And then you can go to duplicate it, and then you can just duplicate it from there. Okay, and another thing to do is if you figure out that you don't like this at all and you don't like the changes you just made, you can always do Control-Z and it'll go back. Or let's say I deleted this and I didn't want to delete that. I would go up here to this undo and click undo, and it'll bring it right back. And so you can do that as well. And another thing down here on the right is you can zoom in. So it's at 75%. I can zoom out to see it in a smaller scale, or if I need to go really close, I can zoom way in. So you'll scroll up, and then down here on the bottom, you can move this over, and then you can really see the detail of what you're trying to do in here. And then you can just go and scale back out. But whatever you do after you make changes, make sure to go, before you download it, make sure to go to File and Save so that you can save it. And because if you download before you save it, sometimes it doesn't download the changes. So just be careful of that. So once you print it out, you've gone here, you downloaded it, and you've printed it out, then you can either use your scissors to cut around here, or you can even use a circle hole punch or just a circle punch, which is what I like to use because it's really quick that way. But either way, it works, and you just tape on a toothpick to the back of it. You can even do large cake toppers if you wanted to. So if you didn't want to just do small ones for cupcakes, you can even do a large one and then attach sort of a wooden skewer to the back of it and pop it into the top of your cake. I mean, you can just do so many different things with this program. And if you wanted to put a person's name on it, you could always do that just by going over here to text. You just click on text and then add a heading, or even you can go through here and see which ones you like. Like this one's cute. Tiffany's birthday, you could even do that, make it smaller for a cupcake design or make it large for a cake design. And then you can always go to elements and then click a neat little, like you could even do, something like a banner, or you could go up here and type in banner and press enter, and they give all kinds of cute things. You can just do something like this, and then you could go up and change the colors. Like you can make it blue, and then you can change this one to yellow, and then you can double click on this one and change certain things. So if you don't want it to say you're invited, you can take that off, and we're going to make this smaller. And then we're just going to drag it in front of it. So let's say it's not showing up. You drag it in front of it's not showing up. So click on this right here in the front and go up to position and click on position. Click on it. And then you're going to go backward. I want it backward because I want the words on the top. So now I'm going to move the words around so that they're in the middle. And you can always change the font. You can go up and bold it, or you can make it a different type of font that's actually more bolded, or I kind of like this one better. But you get the gist of it. So just make sure you do one print. Make sure you always go back and save, and then download it and kind of print a test page, because things look so much different on the screen than they do when they print it out. But that should get you started. So I hope that this was fun for you. I hope you have a lot of fun making your own cupcake toppers and cake toppers. And now you can actually personalize them yourself. All right. So if you have any questions about this, or I went too fast on something, just hit me in the comments below and let me know, and I will do my best to answer. All right. See you next time. Bye.